Hello and welcome to our Startup Global Pitch Competition info session. I'm Isabel Nolan, the Program Manager for the Startup Women and Startup Global programs at Startup Canada. To begin, I would like to acknowledge the land on which I am on today, which is located on the unceded and traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh Nations, also known as Vancouver. I also acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of all Indigenous peoples. I encourage you to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional territory that you're residing on today. Today's session is being recorded and we'll add it to our YouTube channel and our website as a living resource leading up to the pitch competition. Startup Global is one of Startup Canada's flagship programs that supports entrepreneurs looking to export and expand their business internationally. A big part of this program is our annual pitch competition, which interested entrepreneurs can participate by either pitching in person or virtually. This session today is to provide you with a better understanding of the process, the eligibility criteria, the prizes up for grabs, and answer any questions that you may have. I'd like to take a moment to thank our fantastic partners with who this program just wouldn't be possible to run. So thank you to our co-presenting partners, UPS and Export Development Canada, as well as our program partners, Forum for International Trade Training, or FIT, our ecosystem partners, Scotiabank and Startup TNT, and our community partners, GS1, North Forge, Toronto Region, BOT, IPIC, and NCFDC. So I'll take you through what the next 30 minutes or so will look like. And there's a lot to pack into this, but rest assured that we will take any questions that you have regarding the pitch competition today. So firstly, I'll be going over the eligibility criteria to participate in the Startup Global 2024 pitch competition. We'll then go over the details of what to expect for the in-person component of the competition, the pop-up pitches, which will take place at each of our Startup Canada tour stops. Then we'll do the same, but for the virtual component of the pitch competition. And before wrapping up, like I said, I'll make the time to answer any of the audience's questions. So you can do that by adding your questions to the Q&A box at the bottom bar of your screen. So eligibility criteria. This is what you'll need to meet in order to participate in the competition, whether you're pitching in person or virtually. So the criteria is as follows. You need to show the intention or the ability to export and expand your business internationally, have less than $1 million in revenue as of April 12th, 2024, be less than 5 years of operating your business as of April 12th, 2024, and you have business/operations based in Canada. Some additional guidelines to note. Employees of Startup Canada and their immediate family members are ineligible to apply. Submissions may be entered as individuals or teams. However, the maximum number of team members for a single pitch is limited to one person. A company may only submit one pitch to be considered for adjudication. And for the grand finale, only one representative of the company may pitch to the panel of judges or answer questions from the judges and our audience. For in-person pitches, the person that pitches at tour must also be the person that pitches at the grand finale. The prizes, the most exciting part of this. So we'll take a quick look over the prizes that are up for grabs. So the winner of each of our pop-up pitch competitions at each Startup Canada tour stop will win $3,000 in cash prize and also a guaranteed spot at the top 10 for the grand finale in October. The top 5 at the first 3 tour stops will also have the chance to win the People's Choice Award. This is voted on by the audience on the day, and the winner receives $1,000 cash prize. There will be 4 total prizes given away at the grand finale in October, and they're as follows. First place wins $30,000 cash prize. Second place wins $15,000, and third place wins $7,500. We'll also have pitch competition on the grand finale, which the public will also be voting on, and they'll be voting on the top 10 pitchers for the grand finale, and that winner will take home $2,500 cash prize. So now I'll go into the details pertaining to the in-person component or the pop-up pitches. So these pop-up pitches will take place at each of our 4 Startup Canada tour stops. So these locations will be Winnipeg on April 18th, Langley, BC on May 15th, Moncton, New Brunswick on September 17th, and Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario on October 29th. Please note, if you have registered to pitch for the pop-up pitch in Kitchener-Waterloo, the tour stop itself, the whole day, that takes place on October 30th, but the pop-up pitches happen the day before on October 29th. So firstly, to sign up for the pop-up pitch, you'll need to register by purchasing a startup pass plus pitch competition ticket at the tour stop of your choice. Once the step is complete, you'll be guaranteed a spot to pitch at the tour stop, and we'll be in touch via email 1 week before the event with your pitch time slot to pitch on the day. You've already purchased a pitch competition ticket for Winnipeg. You'll receive your pitch time slot by the end of today. So look out for an email from Miriam Wedge. At each of the tour stops, the registration will open at 8:30 local time, with the first round pitch slots happening from roughly 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. You'll need to check in at registration tables to get your name badge, and then you'll be directed to check in with our pitch program administrator, Miriam, near the pitch area. You'll receive a pitch information handout, which will include key timing to be mindful of for the top 5 announcement and the tour stop winner announcement. During your pitch slot, you'll be paired with 2 judges who will listen to your 3-minute pitch and then ask you some questions for a 4-minute period. You'll be pitching at the same time as a few other founders or pitchers, but you will be in separate areas of the room. After your first round of pitches, you're free to attend panels, workshops, network with fellow attendees and industry partners until the indicated time in your pitch information handout, where you'll need to head to the main stage to not miss the top 5 announcements. The top 5 will then be invited to the stage to pitch shortly after this announcement, and the winner will be announced towards the end of the day before the networking hour. All official timing will be included on the pitch information handout, and you'll receive the timing, or rather, I should say, the timing will differ per tour stop. Lastly, the winners at each tour stop will also move on to the Startup Global 2024 Pitch Competition Grand Finale, where they'll pitch again on the main stage of the Kitchener-Waterloo tour stop on October 30th for a chance to win one of the top 3 prizes, as well as the People's Choice Award. If you have any questions regarding in-person pop-up pitches, you can add them into the Q&A box now, and I'll do my best to go through them now and answer them for you. All right, we have one here. Do I have to incorporate to be eligible? The answer is no. You do not have to be incorporated. That's absolutely fine if you are not. So absolutely not. Any other questions regarding? I'm going to go through the chat here as well, just to make sure that no one's put anything in. I will say that if you're adding anything to the chat, make sure that you're talking to everyone. Zoom has the default to put it into that you're sending information or messages to hosts and panelists. So just make sure you're sending messages to everyone. So is there a slide deck? No. So your pitch is entirely verbal. However, if you do have a product or you're product-based, you are welcome to bring that physical product with you when you're pitching in person, as long as it's something that can easily be carried and placed on a table. So I hope that answers your question. And what was the prize if you win your tour stop? So the prize is $3,000 cash prize, and also a guaranteed spot at the grand finale in Kitchener-Waterloo. It can be a new business, absolutely. You just have to show the intent and ability to export and expand internationally. And it is less than 5 years in operation. In the question and answer segment, what level of detail will they typically ask? So typically the questions that our judges will be asking, they're usually clarifying questions. So perhaps if you've Mention something within your pitch that they'd like to explore more or get more detail from you that you weren't able to cover in your pitch. So for example, your target market, or perhaps there's, if you don't mention anyone on your team, or if there's anything that's missing from your pitch, they'll probably frame a question around that missing component. So that's sort of the topic of questions that they will be asking you. You won't be required to show financial documents or anything like that on the day. It's really for them to get more clarifying information so that they can better understand your business, if there was something that was missed or not fully covered within your pitch. So Victoria, I hope that answers your question. How can I present my startup? So in terms of the pitch competition, the pop-up pitch competition, you'll have 3 minutes to pitch. And like I said, it'll be a verbal pitch, so no pitch deck. And then you'll have 4 minutes to answer some questions from our judges. So Miss Moeen, I hope that answers your question, but if it doesn't, please add more information into the chat so I can ensure that I'm answering that correctly for you. Okay, so Naba asked, we incorporated in October 2018, but did a business pivot in 2020. Are we ineligible given we have been operating for over 5 years? So in that case, if the business pivot was entirely different, then yes, you are eligible. However, if you're still operating under the same business name or the same industry, it's still at its core, it's still the same business that you incorporated in 2018. Unfortunately, you would be ineligible to participate. Are non-for-profit organizations eligible? Absolutely. Absolutely. You are more than welcome, regardless of your structure, industry. All industries are welcome to participate. So Jobel, I hope that answers your question. Is there a difference in the prizes for pop-up pitch or virtual pitch? So I'll go into virtual pitch now. But to summarize on that, pop-up pitch has a prize for the top pitcher, like a cash prize. And then for virtual pitch, 6 pitchers, their prize is to get a guaranteed spot in the grand finale. But I'll go through all the virtual pitch components shortly. Is there a minimum revenue threshold? We have incorporated early this year and we launch our products in June. Would such a venture be eligible, which has early revenue? Nope, that's fine. So we say for that sort of number, less than $1 million in revenue as of April 12th, 2024. So I think you're within that threshold, so that's absolutely fine, Cigar. Megan, do you want to know how we plan to enter the market, distributor, broker? Yes, absolutely. If you can show how you plan to do that, you don't necessarily have to go into a lot of detail within your pitch, but if that goes alongside your intention and ability to export. So if you can summarize how you're going to be entering the market within your pitch, that's great. And then the judges, if they need more information, that will probably be one of their questions. So Megan, I hope that answers your question. It is all in person. We must be available on the dates. So Kathy, pop-up pitch, yes, we have those specific dates for pop-up pitch, and they are all in person. And if you were to win, the grand finale is also in person. However, if for whatever reason you're not able to come to the grand finale, we can call you in virtually as well. And then, of course, the virtual pitch competition is entirely virtual. So Kathy, I hope that answers your question. Emmanuel, the number of minutes you have to pitch is 3 minutes. 3 minutes for virtual pitch, and then you'll get 4 minutes for the questions from the judges. Victoria, are you required to bring any visuals, props, or product itself? So it's a verbal pitch, so no pitch deck is required, whether it's pop-up pitch or virtual pitch. And if you're product-based, you're welcome to bring your product, so long as it's something that's easily carried and can be placed on a table. So this is just for any venue restrictions. If you are product-based, it needs to be quite small and compact, so that it's not interfering with any other pictures. There isn't any time to set up on the day. It's very quick. So if your product is something that can easily be placed on the table, that's absolutely fine. So I'm actually going to now go on to the virtual pitch component. If there was any questions that you had for a pop-up pitch, Miriam is going to put into the chat how you can reach out to us if they don't already get covered today. And like I said, this is recorded. We'll put it onto our YouTube channel. So if there was anything you missed at the beginning, you can go ahead and watch that again. But we're always happy to answer questions one-on-one over email. And ensure that you are fully prepped, whether you're pitching in person or virtually. Okay, so for the sake of time, I'm going to get back into the virtual pitch component. So first of all, if you are interested in participating in the Startup Global 2024 pitch competition, you can either pitch in person or virtually, but not both. So the virtual component of the competition aims to give an opportunity to anyone in Canada wishing to participate, but perhaps aren't able to make any of our in-person dates. So just to be clear, you can either pitch in person or virtually, but not both. So on Monday, June 24th, we'll be hosting our virtual pitch competition between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. So we have a threshold of 240 pitchers that will be able to pitch on that day. And our judges will then select a top 12 out of that 240. And they will then pitch in front of another panel of judges and a live audience on Tuesday, 25th, also via Zoom between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Details on how you can register to attend the June 25th event as a viewer will be available within the next few weeks, and we'll share that in our Startup Global webpage. So to participate in the virtual pitch competition, you'll need to register on our event page, which will be added to the chat now. So and sorry, that will also be in the YouTube description box as well if you're watching the recording. So just please ensure that you verify your email before submitting your registration details, as that is how we're going to get in touch with you. So when you're registering for the virtual pitch competition, we ask you to self-declare that you meet each piece of criteria, and you need to meet all the pieces of criteria in order to be eligible. So we do ask you to be truthful when you're applying to pitch, to ensure that you're not taking the spot away from someone who is eligible. For the pitches on June 24th, we will be in contact about a week before the June 24th to confirm the exact time that you'll be coming online and pitching. So once you have registered, and of course you meet all the pieces of criteria, you are guaranteed a pitch time slot. So during the virtual pitch day on June 24th, you will be paired to 2 judges in a breakout room on Zoom to present your pitch. The pitch will have a time limit of 3 minutes with 4 minutes of Q&A from the judges. So we're doing our best to mirror the experience with in-person and virtual as best that we can, so that it's as fair as a playing field for everyone involved. This information will be included on our email communications to you, but please ensure that you log on to Zoom 5 to 10 minutes prior to your pitch to check in with myself and with Miriam. We'll make sure that your sound and your video are good to go before you move into your assigned breakout room with your judges. Once you're finished your pitch and you've done your Q&A with the judges, you're free to return to your day. So this should really only take a maximum of 15 to 20 minutes out of your day if you pitch virtually on June 24th. We will be sending email updates at the end of the day on June 24th so that you know if you've made it to the virtual top 12. So if you apply to pitch on June 24th, we will also send you a calendar hold for the following day in case you are selected as a top 12 to pitch, so that we can ensure that you are you're free during that period of time the next day. So just to be aware of that as well, you'll get a calendar hold, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are guaranteed a spot to pitch in the top 12 virtually. The judges for our top 12 will then select 6 finalists out of this top 12, and those 6 finalists will then win a guaranteed spot at the 2024 Startup Global Pitch Competition Grand Finale on our main stage in Kitchener-Waterloo on October 30th, where you'll be pitching alongside all of the other winners from our tour stops in a chance to win one of the top 3 prizes. The travel and accommodation to bring you to Kitchener-Waterloo will be provided to you by Startup Canada. So we'll cover the costs of your travel and accommodation if you are selected to pitch at the grand finale. And again, if you are selected as a finalist, we'll provide further details on all these pieces as well. So any questions around virtual pitch competition? And I'm going to do a bit of a flick through the chat, but I'll go through the Q&A box first. Does how close we are to go to market make a difference? Nope, not at all. So what we'll do is we'll share the adjudicating criteria. Miriam, if you want to put that into the chat, or we can follow up with you as well. It's exactly the criteria that the judges are following when they're listening to your pitch. The number one question that you are looking to answer in your pitch is showing, do you have the ability to go global? So this is designed for early stage entrepreneurs. So we have entrepreneurs that, you know, are in, they have a minimal viable product, or they're just about to launch, or they have just launched. So you have entrepreneurs in various different stages of early stage, but it doesn't necessarily make a difference to their decision whether you have launched or not. It's really, you know, showing your readiness and showing your ability to go global, showing your market research, showing your competition analysis, you know, all these things that you would be doing, creating your business plan. So Ryan, I hope that answers your question for you. If not, please do reach out and we can give you further clarification around that. Should we have a strong focus on financial projections? Not necessarily, unless it is applicable to your business and the industry that you're in. It definitely helps to have an overview of, you know, maybe the next few years of what your trajectory would look like. But no, you don't need to provide a full breakdown of your financial projections. Also, bear in mind this is a verbal pitch, so it's quite difficult, or it might be quite difficult to showcase these when you don't have slides to sort of lean on. But no, that's not really one of the criteria buckets that they're going to be looking to fill out. So Faria, I hope that answers your question. What is the maximum of people to pitch per team? So the maximum is 1. So one pitch per team, and that can be the co-founders, the founders, that can be we've had, you know, directors of marketing pitching on behalf of the founders before. It doesn't necessarily need to be the business owner, but it is just 1 person per team, and the same person that pitches in the first round of pitch in pop-up pitch, or they pitch in virtually, that the same person has to pitch at the grand finale if they were to win. So Wafa, I hope that answers your question. Wafa, can we prepare a slide deck for the virtual pitch? The answer is no. So, like I said, we are trying to mirror the experience of pitching in person and pitching virtually as much as possible so that we can be as fair and we're sort of comparing apples to apples. So because it's a verbal pitch on tour and in person, it's also a verbal pitch for the virtual pitch as well. If you are product based, Wafa, you can show your product, um, in your hand. But that's sort of as far as it goes. We don't really allow demonstrations on, this is how it works. It's really, if it's product based, um, or if you're tech based and you want to hold your phone up to sort of show what the home screen looks like, that's okay, but not necessarily a demonstration. Now, if the judges ask for that, that's okay, but within your pitch, we can't allow any visual aids, basically. Elliot, can we present multiple products? Yep, you can. Like I said, if they are small, can be put onto a tabletop. You can show them. So long as they're all collectively within the same business. So for example, if you're a beauty-based brand and you have various different beauty products um that your company does, but the core of your pitch is your beauty brand, that's okay. But if you're referring to can we present multiple products, as in do multiple pitches for different products and different businesses, the answer is no. It is just one pitch. So Elliot, I hope that answers your question. That is all the questions that we had in our Q&A box. So I'm just going to go to our chat and see if there are any I missed here. And we're almost at time. So what I might do is do my closing remarks, but then we'll stay on and I'll answer any further questions. So bear with me, I'll just do my closing remarks, and then for any folks that have asked any questions in the chat, I will get to those afterwards. So I just want to give a massive thank you to everyone for joining us today for our pitch info session. And whether you're watching this live or you're watching on our YouTube channel as a recording, we will add all the links from the Zoom chat for each of our tour stops for the pop-up pitch registration pages, as well as the link to apply to the virtual pitch event. All information on this year's pop-up pitch can be found on the Startup Global webpage, which we will also put into the chat for you. This recording will be on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it back if there was anything you missed at the beginning, and we'll also link it onto the Startup Global Pitch Competition webpage. For our YouTube viewers, all of the links that were mentioned will also be listed in the description box of the video. Thank you again to our partners, UPS, EDC, FIT, Scotiabank, Startup TNT, GS1, North Forge, Toronto Region, BOT, EPIC, and NCFDC. Take care, everyone.